Elon Musk definitely has no soft corner for mobile phone giant Apple because his CEO Tim Cook reportedly chose not to meet up with them. Was this a big mistake? Because when you try to rub off a guy like Elon Musk the wrong way, there's a high likelihood that you would regret the decision at some point in the future. Now, if you look at Tesla as a company and Elon Musk as the man who runs it, disruption is all in a day's work for them. After already changing the entire landscape of the automobile industry, Tesla is looking to change how we see transportation while also keeping an eye out for a future where flying cars would become part of our daily lives. Elon Musk is definitely not going to stop there since the founder of Tesla is planning on creating a whole new ecosystem where his products would become an integral part of our daily lives. Today, the mobile phone industry is dominated by the likes of Apple, Samsung, and Huawei. All three giants sell millions of phones each year and generate tons of profit from their phones and other linked electronic devices. Apple is now a status symbol around the world, while Samsung's ability to come up with innovative devices, such as the model that serves as both a tablet and a regular phone, ensures that it stays relevant. Huawei might have taken a hit in terms of global outreach due to the fallout of US-China trade wars, but the Chinese mobile giant is performing very well in the local market where demand for smartphones continues to grow. So it appears that there is some tension brewing up between Elon Musk and Tim Cook, with the former claiming that he once attempted to sell Tesla at a time when the company was not doing well. Musk says that he wanted to set up a meeting with Apple CEO Tim Cook to discuss a potential sale, but Cook allegedly refused to take the meeting. During that time, Tesla was struggling to get the Model 3 out of the way, and things were so bad that the cars were being assembled inside a tent next to the company's Fremont, California facility. Those were the darkest times in the company's history, but today, Model 3 is the best-selling luxury car in America and has shaped the company's future. During the darkest days of the Model 3 program, I reached out to Tim Cook to discuss the possibility of Apple acquiring Tesla for 1/10 of our current value. He refused to take the meeting. However, Tim Cook says that he never had a chance to talk to Musk, but admitted that he must have been trying to get in touch with him. Currently, Apple is also trying to enter the EV business, but so far, it has not made many inroads in this line of work. A few years ago, Apple claimed that it was on the verge of creating an EV, but later on, the company was only able to create software that was used by other EV makers. But it now appears that Tesla is preparing for yet another disruption, and this time around, it involves all these smartphone giants. Apple, Samsung, and Huawei should now be looking over their shoulders now that Musk has announced a new smartphone, the Tesla Model Pi. Now, this smartphone is not just a cool phone. It is literally an all-conquering gadget that is predicted to make things difficult for existing manufacturers. At present, the release date of the smartphone has been kept under wraps, but we already know loads about the many features this gadget boasts. Of course, when you're talking about a smartphone, you can't help but notice its overall design. Tesla's gadget is designed by Antonio De Rosa, who has created a lot of design ideas for Apple products. The first time you look at the phone, the Model Pi does look like an iPhone 12. Just like Apple's version, this one also comes with 4 cameras in a square frame, and the sides are rounded with a silvery tint. Upon closer inspection, there are a lot of differences in the overall look of the Model Pi. Its case has a coating that changes colors since the developers have been able to create a photochromic coating that will activate various pigments depending on the angle and the amount of sunlight. Since Tesla is all about sustainable living, so it wasn't surprising to see that the developers have introduced a solar panel for recharging. Okay, so now that you know enough about the design and the charging options, let's move on to the key feature of the Model Pi that will give Apple and others a run for their money. As we mentioned in one of our previous videos, Starlink is going to be Elon Musk's groundbreaking internet technology. Through the Starlink devices, communication from Mars to Earth would become easier. So to start with, the phone will be compatible with Starlink's satellite internet. Developers are claiming that the data download speed on the Model Pi would be around 210 megs per second. Tesla has also entered a partnership agreement with Neuralink, a gadget that will be surgically inserted into the brain. A chipset called the Link will be implanted in the skull, which would allow people to operate their devices without having to touch them. Musk is certain that in the coming years, this technology will shape the future. In a lot of ways, Musk said, it's kind of like a Fitbit in your skull, with tiny wires. Tesla Model Pi will support this technology that allows people to read information from the brain. This would be quite an achievement because, in case of injury, users will replace some of the brain's secondary functions. And obviously, since Model Pi is a Tesla product, it will also allow users to sync it with other Tesla devices. For instance, this smartphone will allow users to operate their cars remotely and even take the car out from the garage. Pretty cool, right? So every time there's a new mobile manufacturer in town, there's always talk about potential data privacy issues and instances where the entire system is compromised. This brings us back to Starlink, whose internet speeds might eventually be very fast with low latency, but is not foolproof when it comes to data privacy. Experts say the Starlink internet is still vulnerable to hackers, which is why Elon Musk's company has developed proprietary software that will encrypt user data and will use end-to-end encryption. But at present, we're not sure if the encryption protocols would be enough to protect the smartphone from malware. Inadvertently, this takes us to another discussion. The Model Pi will also enable crypto mining for the currency that will be quite big in Mars, the Mars coin. This currency is currently trading against USDT or BTC. Model Pi will come with the ability to mine Mars coins, and though we don't know exactly how that would work, if it actually does work out, you can expect the coin's popularity to increase. Now, we all know that crypto aspires to move away from a rather ancient banking system, so imagine a scenario where you're driving a Tesla and you don't need a regular debit or credit card to buy something when you have a Tesla wallet available. Due to the Model Pi, there would no longer be any need to have Apple Pay or Google Pay, since a crypto wallet is going to take care of that for you. This particular feature would especially come in handy for those who would become the first settlers on Mars whenever SpaceX is able to boast return trips from the Red Planet. Musk wants to create a colony on the planet, and if things work out the way he hopes for, there will be a full-fledged ecosystem on the planet where Mars coin would become the go-to currency. As a consequence, Model Pi would become the preferred choice of Mars residents when it comes to buying and selling goods. Back on Earth, Tesla vehicles will be in constant touch with the Model Pi that will let them know when they need to be charged. The phone will create a route for you so that you arrive at the nearest charging station. While the Model Pi is still far from a finished product and that we have no idea when it will launch, this smartphone is going to recalibrate a lot of things such as recharging on the go, constant availability of internet that guarantees lower latency, hopefully a more secure device, crypto mining, and a shot at moving away from a rather decadent banking system. But more than that, the Tesla Model Pi is going to make things really hard for the existing smartphone giants who have a lot of offerings but need to have another major player among them in order to swiftly move towards new technological breakthroughs.